a few minutes here, let people trickle in. You will need a lacrosse ball for today, just for the beginning. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, no big deal. We're only going to be using it for about 4 minutes at the beginning, just to get our feet. But before we get into the breakdown of everything we're going to do today, I'm just going to read our disclaimer. So, in response to COVID-19, PSP is offering virtual fitness classes to Canadian Armed Forces members by using social media platforms. The virtual fitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members recognize and acknowledge that their age, health status, physical fitness levels are unknown, and it is entirely up to each individual to assess their ability to participate in this class. Since it is preferable to consult your physician before beginning any exercise program, we invite all participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members to consult the Get Active Questionnaire of the Canadian Society for Exercise Physiology and its reference documents. They are linked above. If you are experiencing any pain or difficulty during the exercise presented in this video, it is recommended that you stop and consult your healthcare provider. If any CAF member sustains an injury during this video, please fill out a CF98. So hopefully that won't happen, because today is a range of motion yoga type class. Probably used to me teaching this by this point. This is one of my favorite classes to teach. So we're just going to go another 30 seconds here. Like I said before, you will need a lacrosse ball. If you don't have one, no worries. The majority of this class is without the lacrosse ball. We're just going to use it to get the bottom of our feet here at the beginning. We're going to do a lot of things you've definitely seen previously, but we're just going to keep moving on with it to ensure that you're actually doing it, so we can actually get those long-term changes. So I'm going to start off a little bit different today. So we're just going to stand up, and we're just going to do a basic forward fold. So I'm going to go on an angle here. So you're just going to have a little bend in your knee, so soft knees. You're going to push your hips back towards the wall and gradually roll down towards your feet. And you're just going to hang out here for a few seconds, and then we're going to repeat. So we've got about a 10-second hold at the beginning. So slowly come back up, kind of roll your spine back up, and now we're going to add that spinal roll. So you're going to start at your neck, you're going to roll down, gradually working down the spine, come right down, and we're going to hang out here for 10 seconds, and we're going to do this 3 more times, okay? Slowly roll yourself back up, and repeat. Try to roll down section by section of your back, and then come down. Hopefully you can get a little bit further each time. If you feel a pull in your calves in this position, you've got a little sciatic issue, we're going to come back up. Don't worry, we're going to get into that soon. Again, roll down piece by piece. Try to keep that arch set in your foot. Always want to keep that. Try to grip the floor with your toes. If you're wearing shoes, get rid of them. 1 more. So we're going to come back up, and then we're going to do 1 more. So slowly roll down. We're going to get 1 more. Good. We're going to come back up. So we're going to get your feet to begin with. So grab your lacrosse ball. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, golf ball, baseball, tennis ball, a rock, marbles, anything that will roll on the bottom of your feet, that'll be perfect. If you don't have one, don't worry. We're going to do some manual stuff with our hands after this. So we're going to start at the base of our big toe, and we're just going to roll down towards our heel. And we're just going to gradually work our way towards the base of our pinky toe, and we're going to go back and forth. So, roll back a little bit. You don't want this to be painful, but you want to feel it in your foot. If you're not feeling kind of that stretch or just compression on the bottom of your foot, you can add more pressure to it, okay? As as you go through, it should almost feel like somebody is tickling the bottom of your foot, especially when we take the ball away. Because if our foot is fully functional and the fascia on the bottom of our foot isn't all bound up, we should be able to stand on this ball on one leg. So kind of balance. I can't do it because my feet aren't there yet, but in due time. So we got 15 seconds, and then we're going to switch to going side to side. 10 seconds. So you're going to go to the base of your pinky toe, and you're going to roll across towards your big toe, and then come back, and you're going to gradually work your way towards your heel. Okay? We're just going to keep going down like that. Once you get to the bottom, just work your way back up. So we're kind of going in this side-to-side motion now, just trying to break up all that bound up tissue on the bottom of our feet and spread those joints out. So we got 33 joints in our foot. Unfortunately, we don't use all of them most of the time because of the footwear that we use. If you want to test it, see how flexible your shoes are. They should be able to twist side to side, forward and back. 15 seconds. If they don't, maybe a good idea to look into some other shoes. I like shoes without raised heels at all, perfectly flat. They're a little bit more expensive, but every time you go for a walk or a hike, it feels like your feet are getting massaged. Perfect. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So going back to that first one, so ball at the base of your big toe, and we're just going to roll up and down. So just gradually working that muscle tissue. We have 4 layers of muscle tissue on the bottom of our feet, so they can definitely get bound up. So we're just going to gradually go through there. If you find a tender spot, just kind of work on it. Gradually work through. Try to add more pressure as we go through. And just gradually go back and forth. We got 20 seconds left. Reposition the ball as needed. After this, we're going to get into a little manual mobility with our fingers here. Working the big toe, get some extension through there because we're lacking big toe extension. Our walking pattern is going to be off. Good. Go to the base of the pinky toe. We're going to go side to side. On that, if our walking gait is off, that's going to transfer to our hips. That can transfer to lower back issues, sciatic pain, all of that fun stuff. The whole goal is to get you guys an idea and sense of the areas that are tight, and if we can get into some areas that actually help improve symptoms that you are having and give you that base to actually be able to figure out how to fix it, then we're good. Just gradually working side to side towards that heel. Especially when you're at the base of your toes, you'll basically feel your toes kind of wrap around and grip the ball. It's perfect. 10 seconds, and then we're going to use our hands. Perfect. So, rid of that. So you don't need the lacrosse ball anymore. Everything else is just going to be done with yourself on the floor. So the next one, we're actually going to go in and manually adjust our feet. So you're just going to grab your foot. You're going to go foot over top your knee. You're going to grab your toes, and you're just going to manually move your big toe back and forth and just kind of move it around. We're going to do this for 30 seconds, and then we're going to interlace our fingers. So really working on pulling that toe up and down. Just kind of exploring those ranges. Exploring your ranges is how you figure out if you're good or not. So if you feel a main pull or like a real big pinch, we got something to work on. So we'll stop there. So now we're going to gradually interlace our fingers. So you're going to put your fingers right between your toes. Give Give you a few seconds to do that. Get to the point where you can basically make a fist, hold your midfoot, and we're going to rock around. So do some clockwise, do some counterclockwise. You may hear some pops or some cracks. That's perfectly normal. Just air escaping the joint. It's fine. So we're going to go 30 seconds one direction, 30 seconds in the other. After this, we're going to switch feet, and then we're going to get into the ankles. So we're going to switch directions. Really explore those end ranges. If you want to activate some muscles, try to squeeze your fingers a little bit from time to time. So this just helps us bring awareness back to our feet. Especially sometimes when our feet are squished in socks or shoes, our brain forgets that we have toes, so we kind of got to get used to it again. 5 seconds. Good. And switch sides. So starting off, again, grab your toes, and we're just going to move that big toe forward and back. Working on that flexion extension. If you want to see if your big toe is working well, stand up and try to lift your big toe and see if it moves straight. Most of the time it's actually going to go inwards towards your other toes, because that's what happens when we're squished. So it actually tracks a little bit differently because we don't have that range. So that's where we're going to help combat. 5 seconds. Relax. And then interlace your fingers. And begin that rolling. Pick a direction. Explore those end ranges. 30 seconds one way, 30 seconds the other. Ten seconds. And then we're going to switch directions. Switch directions. So we're just adding a little bit of movement. Helps throughout as we're spreading our toes apart with our fingers, as well as adding oscillation here. 5 seconds. And relax. Shake out your toes. See if you can kind of spread your toes apart, get some space in between them. Good. So next we're just going to come up and we're going to do a little bit of a screening. So you're just going to pick a squat stance, whatever's good for you. You can either start between hips or feet underneath shoulders. If you really want to challenge yourself, see if you can do a squat, feet together. But what we're going to do is when we go down into our squat position, we're going to stay there. Okay? So pick your foot position, and we're going to squat down in 3, 2, 1. And you want to squat down to the point where you're comfortable. If you can't get feet together, just widen your feet. Okay? We're going to hang out in this position for a minute. You should feel some things start to light up. Might be your ankles, it might be your knees, might be your low back, could be your hips. I just want you to keep note of where you feel it, and as we go joint by joint, you'll be able to refer back to which one of these movements are going to help you later on. Okay, so we got 30 seconds left. This is not the last time we're going to be in this squat position. We're going to test it quite a few times within this class. 15 seconds. We're also going to do a squat stretch once we get to another portion of the ankles. Almost there. And relax. Cool. So you can just come down to seated. Shake it out. And then we're going to come up to half kneeling. So we're going to spend 30 seconds per leg. And all we're going to do is kneel down. Big thing here is keeping that heel on the floor. That's the main thing here, okay? Keep that heel on the floor because if it lifts, you're just going to compensate for that lack of range. you're gonna push your knee over your toe. You can bring your chest onto your thigh if you want to add a little bit more pressure. And if you want a little bit more, you can actually reach. And we're just gonna hang out here for 30 seconds. Do whichever one is comfortable for you. If you have a little weight you wanna hold on to, by all means do so. You're just gonna play around with that end range. You can kind of go side to side a little bit. You might find an area that's a little bit more tender. And good. We're going to back off, and then we're going to switch ankles. So, take your position. We're going to go into that stretch. 3, 2, 1, go. Time is on. Pay attention to that arch. I want to try to keep that, and then just explore that end range. Ten seconds. And then we're going to do our ankle stretch with our squat. Good. So we're going to go back into that squat position. 2 ways you can do it. You can stand up and go back into your squat, or you can just kind of switch. It's up to you. So we're going to come back down here. So what we're going to do while the time's on, you're going to do the same thing we just did, but you're actually going to lean over and reach. And then we're going to spend 30 seconds there, okay? So we're going to pick a side, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. So pick a side, lean over, pretend you're reaching for something just out of your grasp, and just hang out. If you need an external cue, actually grab something and put it just out of your reach to try to give you that target goal. Whatever you need to do. 5 seconds. And we're going to come back and then switch sides. Same idea. So just explore that end range. After this, we're going to start getting into some hip extension, because especially now that we're sitting a lot more, we definitely want to help out those hips. We're going to do a QL stretch after that as well. Good. So you're going to come down to kneeling. You're going to kick your toes straight out behind you, and you're going to just sit. This is it. We're just going to hang out here in this kneeling position for 30 seconds. If your ankles feel like they're going to blow up, adjust yourself. You can come up here if you need to. You can add a towel underneath or behind your knees or underneath your ankles, whichever you need. So this is just a basic tibialis anterior stretch. So that's, if you get shin splints, that is the muscle there. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, lift your knees. Cool. So we're going to start off with our hip extension mobility here. So we're just going to come in to this half kneeling position. So what we're going to do is we're going to push our hips back. You're going to scoop your pelvis under, just like you're trying to scoop some ice cream. So you're coming here, then you're going to straighten up, and then you're just going to push your hip forward, relax a little bit, and repeat. We're going to do this simple movement for a minute, okay? So just gradually pushing your hip forward. You always want to keep that pelvis scooped and just gradually go forward. Feel that glute, make sure it's working. If you need a little tactile, put your thumb right in the side of your butt and see if it's pressing. You should feel that glute firing. If it's not, focus on that. 25 seconds. After this, we're going to stay on this side, and we're going to do another hip extension with a little bit of rotation. A little bit of pulsing here. Good. So pause at the top. I'm going to readjust a little bit. So what you're going to do is move that front foot forward, and you're going to go into this long, deep lunge type position. We're going to hang out here. So now we got one hip in extension, one hip in flexion. Try to push that knee right out, keeping that arch and ankle set. And if you can't, just stay in the position. If you can comfortably, drop that elbow to the floor and rotate towards that other side. We got 15 seconds left here. So just getting in the ankles, or not the ankles, the hips rather, a little bit differently. Try to arrange this so you guys can see a little bit better on the next one. 5 seconds. And relax. So you're just going to come back up to this position, step that foot back, and you can just come down. Okay? So we're going to readjust. Adjust this better. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, starting up in this half kneeling, scoop your butt under, straighten up, and then we're just going to pulse forward for a minute. You should feel this right front side of your hip. So all this stuff that we're doing for the hip extension, for every hour that you're in a seated position, so that could be driving, it could be sitting at your desk, sitting in front of the TV, whatever, we should be spending about a minute per hip in hip extension to offset that. So if you spend 10 hours a day sitting, you got 10 minutes per hip of stuff to do. We're going to go through a couple things here to help combat that. After this, we're going to do a hurdler stretch, and we're going to go into hero pose. And relax. So now, you're just going to slide that foot forward, come down, straighten that hip. Try to rotate a little bit for you guys. And if you can, come down to that elbow. So once again, one hip in extension, one hip in flexion. We're just going to hang out here for another 20 seconds. Try to take nice deep breaths. Gradually sink a little bit deeper into these positions. 5 seconds. And relax. Come back up, plant your hands. Swing those knees underneath. So the next one we're going to do is a hurdler stretch. So you ever run, you're going to know this one. It's pretty straightforward. So we're just going to sit one leg straight, one leg out to the side. From here, depending on how tight you are, you can either drop to one elbow, both elbows, or back to the floor, okay? Whichever one you do, we just want to be at the point of discomfort. We don't want to feel absolute pain, okay? So just go to the point of discomfort. We're going to spend 30 seconds there before we go into our hero pose, okay? So pick whichever one you want to do, and we're going to start. 3, 2, 1, go. Just hang out here. Squeeze that glute on whatever side you're stretching. Try to drive that hip up. Feel that stretch on the front side of your hip. We got 5 seconds here. And relax, so we're going to come back up, fold that leg out, and then we're going to switch sides. Same thing, I'm going to come down, try to keep that knee on the floor, and we're going to hang out here. If the knee lifts, we got some internal rotation to work on, we're going to go through that as well. We're just going to hang out here. Same thing, big breaths. Almost there. And relax. So we're going to come up. So the next one, we're going to go into our hero pose. So we're going to come up to sit on your heels. Your knees can go as wide as you need to. And then we're going to lie back. Same idea is what we just did, but now we're going both legs. So you may only get to here. That's fine. Wherever you need to feel that stretch to the point of discomfort. We don't actually want to feel absolute pain. And we're going to hang out there for 30 seconds. So once again, you can go hands, elbows, or lie flat on the ground. It's up to you. So we're going to sink into that in 3, 2, 1, go. Once again, try to keep those knees on the floor best you can. And just hang out. 30 seconds. Time to go. And relax. So you're going to come up and hang it. Cool. So that's a very simple one to do. You can do it literally anywhere. If you've played sports at any point in time, you've probably seen that. So we're going to go through that same sequence again. Okay, 30 seconds each one, just to make sure we get an adequate amount of time with our hips. So, we're going to go back to that first one. Just pick whatever leg you're at. 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. And we're just going to sit back into this further stretch. Should feel yourself getting deeper into these stretches, especially as we go through, spend more time in that extension, and we just hang out. This one also adds a little bit of internal rotation. That's okay. Nice big breaths, 5 seconds. Good, come back up. Switch legs. Same thing, dropping back. Time is on. Squeeze that glute, drive that hip forward. And then just breathe. I'm talking deep breaths, not just very quick, this hurts type of breaths. Try to focus on your breathing throughout all of these. Almost there. Relax. Next one, we're going to go into our hero pose. I'm going to rotate this a little bit, best I can. So, set yourself up, take a big breath. And we're going to go into that hero pose in 3, 2, 1, go. Pick whichever variation is comfortable for you. You can only go to your hands, that's fine. Go to your elbows, that's fine. If you get into the floor, that's awesome. We're just going to hang out. Nice big breaths. 10 seconds. And relax. And come up. Bring those legs out from underneath you. And just shake them out. If you want to feel your hips, we're going to come up to a standing position and just kind of shake them out. Go ahead, shake out those hips. We're going to get into your glutes, some internal rotation work. If you were here last week, we did this one as well. This one's one of my favorites. So it's a modified 90-90 stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down the floor. We're going to go 90-90 in the leg. So what that means is you want a 90-degree angle in that front knee, 90-degree angle in the groin, 90-degree angle in that back leg. So, just going to hang out here, sit up nice and tall, and we're going to fold over the knee. This you should feel in your butt. We're going to hang out here a few seconds. We're going to come back up. Now you're going to fold over your mid-shin, Fold forward. May feel a little bit more of a pull here. Come back up. And now we're going to fold towards your ankle. Best you can. Just forward. Try to keep that knee down. Twist. So we're going to do these static holds first, and then we're going to add a little bit of movement to it, okay? So now we're going to go right back over that knee. 10 seconds, try to get a little bit deeper. Try to keep those 90s in your knees, groin. So we're going to come up, and then fold right towards your mid-shin. We're going to play around with a little bit of internal rotation movement here in a second. We're going to come back up and then fold towards the ankle. Best you can. I like to grab my ankle with my foot the whole time. But put your hands wherever you feel good. So in the next one is when we're going to add that internal rotation of that back leg. So what that means is when we fold forward, you're going to do your best to lift that back foot, okay? So what that looks like, just take a second to watch. When we fold forward, you're going to rotate up with that back leg best you can, okay? If it doesn't come off the floor, that's fine. We just need to, we now know that we have a little bit of work to do there, okay? So just try your best. Even if you just try to pull up and it doesn't move, we're still activating that musculature, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come back up. We're going to go fold over the knee and add that internal rotation. We're going to hang out here. Come back down. Heading back to the mid-shin, same idea. As we get closer to the ankle, that internal rotation is going to become quite a bit more difficult. Come back down. Last one, straight towards the ankle. Lift up best you can. And relax. So we're going to switch sides. Easiest way to switch sides is just dig your ankles into the floor, and then you can just rotate over. Okay? I'm not going to do that because it gets a bad angle for you guys, but simple way to do it if you're on your own. We are going to explore that here in a minute as well. So, starting off same as before, I'm going to grab my ankle to start, and we're just going to fold over that front knee. So we're going to do 2 rounds without that internal rotation, 1 round with. We're going to come back up, relax, fold towards the shin. Come back up, fold towards the ankle, best you can. And back up. That's 1. Going back over top of the knee. About 10 seconds per hold. You can certainly go longer. About 30 seconds if you'd like. We're going to come back up. For this, we're just going to rotate through 10s. Mid-shin. Back up, and then we're going over the ankle. Once again, just going to that point of discomfort or wherever you can get to. Good. Come back up. So now we're going to add that internal rotation of that back foot. So we're going over that front, going over the knee, rotate that foot up, pushing that knee into the ground. Come back up and relax. Going mid-shin, excuse me. Come back down. Last one here, going over the ankle. And big breath here. And relax. Come back up. Stretch those legs. Shake it out. We have time. We're good. So, next one we're going to explore a little bit of that 90-90 shift with internal rotation. So we're going to go into that 90-90 position. I'm going to go this way. Actually, no. I'm going to angle here so you guys can see better. So 90-90 position. So 90 degrees that front leg, 90 degrees hip, 90 degrees in the back. What we're going to do is we're going to keep our torso up nice and tall, keep that hip pushed into the floor, dig those heels, and we're going to rotate over. Back into that 90-90 on that side, and we're going to do this for 30 seconds, okay? So just rotating back and forth, making sure your pelvis stays on the floor, okay? So just, again, rotating here, trying to keep your pelvis down. If your knees don't go all the way to the floor, that's fine, okay? So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So just rotating through, getting that internal rotation of the hip. This is something you can add in your warm-up. Really want to focus on that knee that's forward, right in front of you, because that's where you're going to get the most internal rotation. The other knee, the one furthest away, is not. So relax, shake it out. We're going to revisit that here in a second, but we're going to go into a QL stretch first. So you're going to go into this nice wide base of support. You can bring your hand either to the inside of your calf or the outside. Other hand is going to come over and you're going to fold. Okay, you should feel this up this side of your back. You may feel a little bit in your hip. It's getting your QL or your quadratus lumborum. It's a deep core muscle that runs along your spine. Helps keep your spine upright. Got 5 seconds. Relax. And switch sides. We're going to do 2 15-second holds. You may feel this in your lat a little bit as well since your arm is up over top. Good. Switch sides. You may get a little further than me. I know my QL gets really tight. Switch sides. Last one, and then we're going to repeat. And good. So we're going to go back into that 90-90 position. Go here. And we're going to rotate through again for 30 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So keep those hips on the floor best you can. Keep yourself up nice and tall. So we're adding that mobility with a little bit of movement. 10 seconds. You can do this upwards of a minute. That's perfectly fine as well. And relax. Now we're going to go into our QL stretch. Nice wide base of support. Big side. And we're going to fold. 15 seconds. Once again, nice deep breaths. Switch sides. Through this, we're going to get your shoulder. Switch sides again. Nice deep breaths. Switch sides, last one. Almost there. And relax. Shake it out. Let your hips relax. Kind of fold forward. However you like. Grab a drink if you need one. And then we're going to get into your shoulders. So angle this. If you have something to support your head, a pillow, I'm going to use a rugby ball, blanket, whatever. That'd be good. If you don't, that's okay. Just going to let your head hang. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. So, you've done my mobility class before, you've definitely done this one. So we're just going to do a little bit internal rotation on the shoulder. If your shoulders are rounded forward, this one's going to help with you, okay? So what we're going to do is you're going to lie down on your side. Whatever you got, blanket, pillow, whatever, is just going to help keep your head straight. If you don't have one, you're just going to let your head hang, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to pin that shoulder underneath your body. You want that elbow right in front of your shoulder, and you're going to fold your arm down. Top hand is coming at the top. You are not pushing down. You're just letting the weight of your hand sit, okay? So we're going to start that. 3, 2, 1, go. Big breaths. Should feel this straight around the shoulder joint. Legs can sit wherever you like, wherever you're comfortable. We're just going to gradually let that hand work its way to the floor. If we had perfect internal rotation, our forearm or our hand would be flat. I have yet to see somebody do it, but anatomically, that would be perfect. 30 seconds left. Really want a deep stretch here, hang out like this for 2 minutes. There's another aspect that we can do with this. We're not going to do this today. Maybe next time. Five seconds. Slowly unwind that arm. We're going to come up. Shake out the arm. One arm should feel looser and a little bit almost softer would be a word to describe it. Shake it out. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to rotate so you can see. Same thing. Let your head rest wherever. Squeeze that shoulder down. Bring that hand to the top. And we're just going to let it gradually sink towards the floor. This one's really nice because you just kind of hang out. You can do this one once or twice a day. This is a better variation of the prisoner stretch, I believe it's called. Or sorry, reverse sleeper stretch. That's the name of it. This just sets your shoulder up in a better position compared to that one. After this, we're going to do another little test with your hips. Ten seconds. Slowly let that arm come back. And we're going to come up to standing for our last thing. So, if you remember what we did at the beginning with that squat, we're going to do the same thing for another minute, okay? So take your squat position. Try to challenge yourself by having a little bit narrower of a stance this time compared to the first one. And we're just going to see if you feel any different, okay? So we're going to go squat in 3, 2, 1, go. Come down. So the goal is to get into a comfortable position down here, okay? And just hang out. You can get your feet together like so. We got some good ankle mobility. Can always be worked on, but you're in a good spot. If you're not quite here, just work on it. Everything that we did today can be done every single day to help get towards this position. If you really want to help this squat position, try to spend about 10 minutes a day in a squat position. Eventually you'll be able to just sit like this for 10 minutes. If you really want to help your hips, just sit on the floor. Just don't use a chair. Sit on the floor for everything. Sitting isn't necessarily bad, it's the amount of time that we spend sitting. So if you just sit on the floor, you're more likely to switch positions or stretch or whatever, so it helps out a little bit. And we're done. Come back up to standing, shake it out. So hopefully you found something in there useful. You can go back through and do that all again or spend some more time in the positions that you'd like. Hopefully we identified a couple areas where you need improvement. If you have any questions or anything on today, or you're wondering, oh, this hurts, what can I do for this? Go ahead and leave it in the comment. If you like the video, go ahead and share it, like it, whatever. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys.